Today's video is upgrading my snail tank. I have pink tongue skinks and blue tongue skinks, all of which love snails, and so I have been trying to breed my own for a while, but my demand far outweighs what I've been able to breed, so I have to keep buying more. And my setup for them is kind of ad hoc, put together based on whatever people gave me. So today I went shopping and I bought some new supplies, and we are going to upgrade my old dirty tank and turn it into hopefully something a lot nicer. Not planted yet, that might come in the future, but the snails will probably just eat it anyway. But at least something nicer than what it currently is. So this is my current snail tank. It had some gravel at the bottom that has just gone unpleasant, and these are my remaining snails. There are really not many. The filter I got was second or third hand, and it's not set up the best, and it just doesn't really do much of anything. Supplies. Today I bought new substrate. I bought a new filter. I've got some prime to fix up the water. My LG wafers I already had. And I got two new supplies of snails. Lots of snails. Sustenance, because I'm a Winnipegger. Got a piece of driftwood that I'm hoping I'll be able to sink. If not, so be it, but we'll give it a shot. I've got a few buckets, I've got a towel, and I've got a hose. So I'm gonna set this thing up and we'll see how it goes. We have a mostly empty gross tank. Water, that stuff. The snails that I survived. Okay, remaining. Dirty tank that I gotta clean. Dirty water to dump after I make sure there's no rocks in it. Remaining rocks. Remaining snails. New snails. More work. Let's keep going. I suppose one thing I could add here is that I'm pretty sure the filter being less than functional is on me because I didn't set it up well. So the new filter does have multiple types of filtration, whereas this one I think I've only got like the bio balls in it. But yeah, so it's not a bad filter or anything. I've just done a poor job of caring for it. I will be reusing some of the biological filtration in this one so that I don't have to fully cycle everything. It is just for snails, so it's not as important to fully cycle, but I have the bio balls in here. Might as well continue using them. So I only want those out of water for a short time. Back to cleaning. So this is, I guess, the base of the new tank. Do some cleaning up and then open up my filter. So the filter I got, just from a pet store, nothing too fancy. I got one that's too big for the 10-gallon I got because the intention is to eventually upgrade to a slightly bigger tank. And there's no fish, so the snails shouldn't care too much about the extra current. Filters, instruction book, cute little filter. Not much different than what I had, just has all the filters that I didn't. Okay. So this is the mechanical filtration. This is the chemical filtration. And this is the biological filtration that I will be using some of my previous stuff, if I can get it out of. Ugh, it is so gross. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna read my instructions and get back to you in a bit. Okay, I have read my instructions. I have an idea of what I'm doing with this. I have decided to take apart my existing filter bag, show how I kind of messed it up, because yeah, this is all my bad. And I was given good instructions, and I have memory issues and forgot basically everything she said. So I think I overfilled it, and then I haven't cleaned it enough, and really this poor thing just stood no chance. So this was the mechanical filtration, just kind of foam. It's very trash. Very, very trash. But for biological filtration, I had carbon balls. I had these little clay pellet things that she gave me. A whole bunch of different sizes of that. And then some little clay balls as well that are down at the bottom here. So I'm going to try and use this stuff again for my biological filtration, as opposed to using this, which currently has nothing, no living stuff on it. I will be using the carbon bag they sent for now, but I'm told that there is better options than this, stuff that can be recharged and reused. So basically the first step seems to be rinsing everything. And I'm going to just rinse it into this and then take away any dirty water afterwards. Rinsing this just to get out any factory dust or anything. Oh, I found out the little chicken waddle thing is the leveling piece, and it goes at the bottom here. And I guess you turn it to make sure it's up against the tank nice and sturdy, not banging around. Okay, rinsing number 1. Already got a shaving on it. Story of my life in this basement. Aspen everywhere. Alright, that has been rinsed, and that goes there. That is level 1. Level 2, chemical filtration. Rinse this. Look, maybe I should have rinsed it over the sink. Carbon dust. Level 2, chemical filtration. It's there. And level 3 says fill up this baggie, use the clip, and then close it off. And cut off the excess. I want to make sure I have the right amount. I'm going to go ahead and okay. I want to do these big pieces, but oh, this boy bag. It is a reusable bag. I wonder if I should actually use that instead, but just clean it up first. because this poor thing. I might do that, so I'm gonna go clean that in the sink and use some hot water and stuff. I'll be back. And I am back. Baggy's been cleaned again, just with water, so it's not perfectly clean, but add in most of the stuff again. Got some of those pellets that come with it, but loaded with the bacteria already, I guess. Going in. Okay, I think that's as low as it's supposed to go. I think I might fix that again. I don't like it. This is where you can really tell I don't actually know what I'm doing. Alright, so I do it based on how it looks. Alright, I think I'm happier with that. Mechanical, chemical, biological. In that order. Didn't have to use that stuff. Alright. Goes there. Okay, that goes there. And I think that's good. Attach this correctly. Okay, that went down. That went down. There we go. A bit damp, but that's the least of its problems. I think the filter's set up. Alright, set that aside. Time to try and set up the tank. Time to get the tank started. Because adding this and then adding water, or adding water then adding this, it's going to be dusty for a bit. I'll have to get the filter running to clean it up. And I'm going to completely rinse down the driftwood. I don't even know if it'll sink. I've just had this piece of driftwood for the longest time, so I've got my fingers crossed that I can use it. If not, I have tons of other driftwood in pieces too, and it doesn't actually need it. This is just, I guess, me being hopeful. I got a type of clay bottom substrate because this apparently works really well for planted tanks. My sister might help me at one point to actually add some plants, but right now it'll just be a this without any plants or anything. I just think it'll look a bit nicer than the bare bottom tank that I had before. It was bare bottom and then the gravel fell into it. It actually had a backing that I tried to grow plants in. The backing came off, all the gravel fell down, and at that point I was like, well, this is a lost cause. give it a little bit to use up the snails, and then I'll try again. This is trying again. Now this thing suggests a 2-inch layer. I'm actually going to take a break and go give this a more thorough clean because it's been sitting in the basement for a while. Cleaned up some of the spray foam that had gotten on it from another project. I kind of want it to stick out of the water like that. I'm hoping it doesn't just immediately float up. It probably will. It hasn't exactly been oiled or set up nicely or anything. Yeah, it's just kind of, we'll see how it goes. I don't want the ground to be all flat. This is where we're at so far. I'm just kind of trying to add some movement to the ground a bit. I really don't know what I'm doing here. It's just a matter of give it a shot and find out. Next thing is adding water. I'm going to add cold water using the hose and warm water using a bucket. And then I'm going to add some dechlorinator conditioner stuff based on the instructions given. And then it'll probably all be like super foggy and ugly. And I'll take that time to count the snails and figure out what species I was given, because these are just random miscellaneous snails. I think they're almost all ram's horn, but there might be some bladder snails in there. And yeah, get that set up, and hopefully once I've got them all counted, oh yeah, I'm also going to hook up the filter so it starts clearing it up. And once I've got them counted, then it'll hopefully be cleared up a bit and able to have the snails in it. We'll see how we do. So, water. I'm pouring it onto the log, both because that'll help soak the log more, and also it was recommended to like not spray or dump water directly onto the dirt stuff, because as you can probably tell, it's getting all goopy. I hope you guys can see this, since I can't really do this multiple times. Oh yeah. Yeah, this log's pretty cool because it's got a hole in the back, and I'm actually thinking I might put some more of that in there and maybe put a plant in there at some point. But I'm not going to do that right away because for all I know this piece of wood is about to jump up and screw me over. So okay, before I go any further with that, I'm going to get my bucket of hot water. Aiming for room temperature water when the snails go in. Oh, oh. All right, it started lifting up. It is gonna need to be weighed down. Okay, Mel, how are you gonna do that? Step one, use that. Should have known, should have known, should have prepared for this. Okay. Naturally, while the camera was off, I knocked into the wood and messed it up. But I'm going to use string to go through some of the gaps, and then I'm going to use weights. And these are 5-pound weights that I use for exercise. You can't tell because I don't do it often enough. And yeah, gonna hold this thing down until hopefully it decides to play nice. Stay where it's supposed to. No, log! Log, how could you? No, log. I was relying on you. You know when you're like, oh, something's gonna go wrong, and you know it's gonna go wrong, and it goes wrong and you're still mad about it? Oh, log. Wow. This is awkward. Log, stay. Stay. Yes, I know we tried this before and it didn't work. It's totally gonna work this time. Okay. What other heavy things can I use to hold log? Alright, we have an assistant. Rock. Rock will hopefully help tie down log. Should probably be easier if the water level was lower and I could see what I was doing. Or not water level, thought it was clear. Okay, well that's gonna look real dumb, but hopefully at some point Log decides to get with the program and behaves. I'm going to set up the filter. A cord that I can plug the filter into. First things first, I'm supposed to fill the filter with water. And naturally, now that I've touched water, go filter, you can do it. I helped. It's doing great. Oh. Well, that's water. There we go. Good job, filter. You're doing great. So that's supposed to be the max flow, and I mean it's running. Oh, last thing is going to be adding some prime. So it's measured in capfuls. Naturally, it has one of these Evo seals. Interesting. Not very much. Okay. Yes. Get it. Dechlorinate it. You teach that chlorine and chloramine a lesson. And this is our absolutely gorgeous snail tank so far. Go team! Okay, I'm going to spend some time counting my snails, and I will get back to y'all soon. You know what? Who am I to say what you guys do and don't want to see? You guys can join me in snail counting. So, I have 2 snails from 2 different sources. I have the Kirkland water snails and the Ziploc with lettuce snails. So this is about 200, and this is an unknown amount just taken off of a cinnamon stick that she puts in that apparently the snails absolutely love. So, snail friends. And a piece of gravel. Sorry, buds. Ooh, there's a bunch of babies in this one. Nope. So I did check with everyone that I get snails from, and oh, this one has plants in it. Well, we might end up with that green surface plant all over my tank, which is fine. I do not mind. But yeah, no one, these tanks do not have any chemicals used except for dechlorinators and tap water. So I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Final check of the Kirkland water. And we have all the snails. So, there's not a ton, but they look good, and there's quite a few little babies in there. So, pretty happy about that. We got one little piece of blue gravel, and I think this is wormwort or something, or frog. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to take over the tank in no time. And they do all look like ram's horn snails. So that's our biggest one. 2, I guess, but they're cute. Okay. 2. Oh, I don't know if I'm actually going to count these, but there's approximately 200 and some in here. Oop, and I just poured water all over it. Go, Mel! Sorry, buds. Okay. All that's left is some dirt. Don't worry, guys. I'll give you your lettuce back later. I promise. Trying to get an idea of how many of you guys there are. Alright, so these are my Ziploc and lettuce snails. And I'm, again, not going to actually do a count, but, you know, one handful here. I've got maybe 30, 40. So I'd say we're pretty good. Oh, this little cutie was out floating, but I've scared him. You willing to come out, bud? There he goes. I hope you guys can see that. Got the little eyes looking around. Catch his friend. So again, these are another ram's horn snail. He's mine now. And yeah, they're quite pretty little guys. Okay, bud, I'm gonna knock you down. Sorry. Give them back their lettuce, and they can chew on that. Tank still has to settle, so I guess next step for me is I have a feeding video to film. And I guess the snails will be stuck here waiting until after I do my feeding video. Hope you'll check that one out too. Thanks. Be back soon.